How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to Mamiya, where we're on, Tojiro. I kept on saying Tanjiro, and like, no, that's Demon Slayer. Yeah, so we're going down the path with Mina and Minato, and that whole dynamic, and we've seen now that we've had the fall and the split, where the memory is now lost, and we're gonna kind of see what Minato does with a trauma-induced fresh start, like kind of a selective amnesia. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see things from this perspective. And I don't know. I know getting to chapter 8 is usually like the final chapter. We'll see how long it goes. If I get to the end of chapter 6, I might stop there, just knowing that we'll only have 2 chapters left, and it'll probably be the finale. So that's kind of my goal here. We'll do 5 and 6, and as long as they're not too short, we'll probably do 5, 6, and then 7 and 8, and then we'll be ready to launch into whatever the true finale's like storylines is going to end up being. Because I know there's going to be something once Natsume's gathered the information from all these different endings and these different routes and kind of understanding. I think the understanding being that Mamiya wasn't evil. Mamiya's intention was good, and that Natsume essentially accidentally did the same thing for the same reasons that Mamiya did it. And so, like, we're going to have sympathy, and that sympathy, I think, is going to help us to find a true solution, which is that the Mamiya doesn't have to leave, because we've also seen that the Mamiyas can actually be reasoned with, that they themselves aren't as twisted and evil as they might seem. They're kind of twisted by the perspective that they were, like, implanted with, but if they can come to terms with their own faults and their own, like, twisted desires, then the Mamiyas kind of turn with them and encourage them and voluntarily seem to fade away. So I do think that that's going to be the true solution here, is that letting people be independent of Mamiya and of Natsume, because they can rely on their friends, their friendships, and kind of put their pasts behind them. And that's what I think is going to be the ultimate resolution. So anyway, let's get started. Who are you? Well, technically it's chapter 5. No need for a key. Turns out the rumor's true. He's going out with the Kashiwagi from Class A. He's going out with Kashiwagi from Class A are true. Huh? Minato isn't single anymore? That's a shocker. I'm impressed. Kashiwagi confessed to him. I mean, Tojo is... Hey, let's not talk about that anymore. I mean, Minato's really happy right now. Kashiwagi. Who's Kashiwagi? That sounds familiar. Is it Touma Kashiwagi? Like, that doesn't sound right. Welcome back, Touma. Yeah, that's Touma, not Kashiwagi. I'm back, Minato. Can I stay here again today? My parents are on night shifts, and Mom said she'd worry less if I were with you, so I wasn't all alone. Then why not go out early to eat today? Wait, are we going to that Italian place you mentioned? I was really looking forward to that. It had been a while since Tojo Minato showed a smile bursting with this much joy. Forgetting about Morishika Haruki and Mina had made him more cheerful than before. The smile he wore was so natural that after he returned to school, everyone in class simply left the cross-dressing thing in the past. Well, that's kind of convenient. No one called him Mina. He didn't remember anything about her. This is for the best. I side-eyed Tojo Minato as he was happily eating pizza with Morishika Toma. There was nothing to worry about here. My friend was happy and was accompanied by an adult he trusted. Doesn't matter that Toma is literally going to kill Morishika, but yeah, like, gosh darn, I'm blanking the name. You know what I mean. His brother. Wasn't this exactly what I wanted? This may have come at the cost of Mina vanishing from the world, but... After he got closer to Morishika Toma, Mamiya began to subside. My friends weren't clinging to fiction, and continued to exist in the world full of real people. Everything was as it had been before Natsume died. Huh? Why won't it open? Tojo Minato stood before the closet and put his hand on the drawer, but then it stopped. Oh, I lost the key, didn't I? Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, they talked about like it's a trauma-induced amnesia. It's more like selective. That's the idea. Is like, so Mina's clothes still exist in the house, but he's got kind of a mental like skip where whenever he gets curious and starts to kind of wander towards discovering those clothes, his brain kind of like is trying to protect him by putting up a wall of distraction. Well, I'll check it during spring cleaning or something. Still, I wonder what's hiding in here. Minato, you're awful! He found himself with a red hand-shaped mark on his face. The first girlfriend he had in a while had blatantly dumped him. Aw. I mean, she's the one who started it by saying all the strange stuff. Me cross-dressing? What a mean accusation. Still, I guess I may have hurt her. Where is Mina now? Hell, who even is Mina? He shook his head and began walking, only to immediately stop in place. Wait, where am I supposed to go? The river flowing below was louder and more annoying than usual. He felt like the muddy river was consuming him, taking and mixing everything. Where do I? The outlines, common sense, and even the air itself. Everything felt like it had ended. He continued to walk as if running from an incessant noise. Home. I gotta get back home, and yet... Mamiya, is it really you? Tojo Minato didn't hear those words. Why would he? His name wasn't Mamiya after all. There's no mistaking it. You are Mamiya, aren't you? I really am surprised that Samajima is the one who's here of all people. And he certainly didn't know this man. Huh? What? Yeah, exactly. Why was Tojo Minato having an encounter with Samajima and Satoru? I've wanted to see you for so long. Come. Some friends who have been looking for you are waiting at a particular house. Hold on. You've got the wrong person. Hey! Minato tried to twist his arm to shake off Samajima's hand, but this man was a police officer. Minato's black belt meant little against him, and the boy living in 2012 passed through the door to the house of the year 1999. What? Really? The pink house. We haven't been back here in ages. You truly are Mamiya. Stop this already! I know about being called Mamiya, but it's not me. You certainly seem to resemble Mamiya in certain ways, but my Mamiya was cuter. My Mamiya is sexier. Can I punch you? Anyway, I'm leaving. To go where? Where? My house. If you know Mamiya, then you also belong in this house. We won't let you go anywhere. Samajima Satoru's long arms prevented Tojo Minato from leaving. The moment he was overcome with instinctual fear, the doors opened with great intensity. Oh gosh, this is a weird encounter. That's right, the different timelines. What are you all doing? Miss Nikaki? A beautiful girl now stood between Samajima and Tojo. He was completely overwhelmed by shock and bewilderment. Oh my, welcome back. You're basically bullying a weakling. Stop it. You're a policeman, so don't act like a criminal. Why? His long-standing symbol of fear had appeared before him as a person his own age. What's all this commotion? Mamiya? And are you Touma? Yeah, but did Mamiya really come back? You gonna call me that too? It's not like my name. It's Minato, and... Minato? Nah, I don't remember anyone like that, sorry. Oh no. Nayuri. Wait, we think this could be the Mamiya we're looking for. What do you think? Mamiya, She looked at him with large eyes, making his shoulders tremble. It might have been just a moment, but it seemed like she was gauging him for eternity. You're nothing like him. Leave. Nigaki Mayuri turned away and disappeared into her room sulking. Huh. Sorry for being so forceful. You're a student as well, right? I'm curious about the Mamiya thing too, but for now, you should go home. Wait, Touma. Tell me about this being you call Mamiya and explain this whole situation. I'm not good at talking. But I want you to speak. I want to hear it from you. Alright, I take a while though. So, that house is a place where people came together to talk about an illusion called Mamiya. No, Mamiya actually existed. He just disappeared one day. Tojo Minato looked out in bewilderment as Touma, sitting on the swing, glanced down at the ground. Behind him, there was a Mamiya dressed as a conductor, standing with muddy feet. You're kind of similar. Oh, that's it, similar. You said your name's Tojo. Do you have any siblings? A twin, maybe? I'm an only child, though I have a vanishing twin, a twin who wasn't born. A vanishing twin? Yeah, I'm the twin brother of a sibling who disappeared while we were in our mother's womb. Yeah, that's actually a real thing. They don't know why it happens, especially because it's not usually something like a miscarriage, where you have a miscarriage and there is like an expulsion of material. Like there's, like you know that whatever was trying to grow and form life didn't get to any state of living and it's passed. But a vanishing twin is something that they'll see on initial scans where it looks like you've got two developing like people, but then one of them just will disappear. The assumption being that it gets reabsorbed rather than actually like manifesting. Now that's not always the case, but in the situation that's being described here would have been like, you go get your first ultrasound, they say, oh, looks like you're gonna have twins. But they'll tell you like early on, be like, be careful, a lot can happen, don't set it in stone. In fact, they often will recommend saying like, hey, like you might not want to talk about it yet, maybe just very close people, because you don't want to make an announcement and then have to like rescind the announcement if something happens. And that's exactly what happened here. But that, as he considered how to continue, he was overcome by a dizzying headache. It felt as though his defense mechanisms were preventing him from remembering. Wouldn't that be Mamiya? Huh? Yeah, I imagine Arasagawa would say something similar. A lost twin could have been a place where our Mamiya should have existed. No, my twin is... My other me is... That's an interesting idea too. Like, so if it was an absorption where like what would have been a twin became a part of him as a baby. Like, I wonder if they're trying to use that as a logical bridge for that. What did that twin look like again? Welcome back, Minato. Huh? Touma, you're an adult again? What do you mean? Touma tilted his head in confusion. Tojo had many questions, but he chose to relax for now. Oh yeah, I brought some casual clothes for you. Thanks, I actually considered buying some myself. Let's see. I figured it would suit you. He gave him a green hoodie and a school uniform. Is this... Like, it's the same outfit he wears right now, isn't it? Can you put it on? The hoodie was one thing, but Minato didn't know what to think of using a school uniform as casual wear. However, the moment he glanced up, he saw Touma looking at him with a serious expression. Oh, is he trying to dress him up like his Mamiya? That actually makes sense. It seemed as though he was brooding over something really difficult. Wouldn't that be Mamiya? Mamiya? Oh. Is this Mamiya's... No, forget I said... To think that you would say that name by yourself. With those words, Touma pushed Minato against the wall. Gah! The malicious smile on the adult's face and the pressure against his back made Minato feel like his chest was being crushed. Oh, why are you doing this? Because you're just like Mamiya. Hey, have you been using me all this time? Since the moment we met, were you nice to me because you just wanted something from me? Using you? That's an awful way to put it. You were attracted to me yourself, weren't you? Morishika Touma put on a prideful smile. His well-featured face suddenly came close to Minato's. He stopped right before they were close enough to kiss. Right. I don't like this. This isn't you, Touma. Hey, don't cry. Keep it together. Come on, put it on. Try being Mamiya. God, so gross. All of this is just gross. Something that looked like a blue fire burned deep within Morishika Toma's eyes. His gaze made Minato's heart pound pounded intensely with fear. Stop. It's not me. I won't become Mamiya. Stop resisting. Why are you so mad anyway? Minato turned pale as his verbal resistance turned out to be ineffective. What exactly was Touma seeing in him? Minato had to understand what he was saying. Understanding. His thoughts were operating at an immense speed. They dragged both the past and the present down, and Tojo Minato came to an understanding. Touma, why do you look like you're on the brink? His subconscious said those words. His own will wasn't involved. His body acted on it by itself. He looked at Touma's confused face and grabbed him by the chest. At that moment, Tojo Minato became another entity. Let's turn it all into a joke. Eyes like those of a wild beast pierced Maruchika Touma. Now, we saw this. I didn't showcase all the side stories in the first 2 parts, but one of them was this twisted Minato. A Minato that essentially walked a similar path to Nigaki, because Nigaki, her story was that she was really pretty, and because of that, she was being sexually assaulted, and was essentially, when she tried to tell her parents about it, her mom kind of told her hey, that's the price we pay for being pretty, just put up with it, because you don't want to damage your reputation by being a snitch or something. And so she essentially just became a tool for pleasure for people, and thus she kind of twists that on her head, and she used that same power and devotion and used her own body to get people to do things she wanted. And Minato, if it goes down the dark path, Minato becomes a Mamiya that does the same thing that she does, where Minato kind of just tosses away his interests and ambitions and even Mina, and just becomes somebody who uses their body to influence people. So I think we're entering that manic state now. He became immobilized as if enchanted by a spell. Move! Minato pushed Touma aside and ran. The man left behind looked at his back, dumbfounded. I knew I wasn't wrong. Minato, you are my Mamiya. Tojo Minato kept on running without ever knowing why. Every step filled his chest with unease. He didn't know why he acted like a madman there. It certainly wasn't something he wanted to do. But he could. He could, so it was hard to find a way not to. The moment he let out a groan, he felt anger toward himself. He found himself being extremely pathetic. I like acting. I want to use my empathetic abilities to their fullest to fulfill people's ideals. He didn't know who he was or where he was meant to return. He had to continue to run, hoping to grasp something, to play some role. The night breeze carried a chill as the silver light shone on the back alley where Touma was. He was reclining on the wall, slightly hanging his head. However, he was smiling maliciously. Seemed like a dark reflection of his goals. Why would you drive him to the brink like that? What was so bad about this? The silhouette reflected by the silver light filled me with irritation. I'm saying it's lacking in sincerity toward him. Sincerity. Sincerity, huh? Maruchika Touma gently swung a hat as he smiled. I heard about this from Nigaki. He was called Mina and performed an idol-like role, didn't he? Yeah. In that case, Mina's fans are guilty of the same thing I am. I couldn't agree with that answer. You look like you want to argue, but I'm not wrong, am I? Minato was simply playing the role of Mina. It's scarcely different from playing the role of Mamiya. Tojo Minato willingly played the role of Mamiya. Nobody forced him into it. But fans projected their own ideals onto their idols, don't they? Surrounded by the howling wind, Touma put on a cold smile. That's the secret behind why idols shine so bright, isn't it? That's... The gusts of wind seemed to cut into his skin. That's probably true. And especially in Japan, maybe that's a big motivator and behind, because when you're an idol in Japan, they have so much tight control, they're not supposed to be in relationships, they're supposed to be pure, they're not supposed to be dating, and even if they just develop feelings for a person, they have to keep it a secret because they get caught dating, their fans will literally turn on them, that kind of crazy stuff. But I wonder if that's the principle behind the idea, is that your job is to be a kind of wish fulfillment for your fans, instead of being oh, I'm being me and I have fans of me. It's you need to be a certain person and your fans can project what they want you to be onto you, and you need to live up to those expectations, which is really unfair. You're attracted to Minato's charm yourself, aren't you? I raised my face as if startled. Don't you think we're pretty much the same? Alright, so I'm gonna save because I have traditionally been bad at choosing this, but I think it's like this. Oh, we're definitely not the same. So you weren't attracted to Mina? Nagaki Mayuri's words came back to mind. You yourself loved Mina to some extent, didn't you? I fell silent and was left alone, unable to do anything but hang my head. I feel so pathetic. I don't even have the right to meet you, Tojo Minato. Yeah, I think this is a bad ending. I bit my lip as the cold sunk into my body. The guilt burning in my heart was scorching my body. What's up, Minato? Sorry for visiting without prior notice. I was able to remember where your place was, at least. Don't mind that. Well, come in. Can I? Thanks. Huh? Where's Midori? She went out to look for rocks. Wait, so we missed each other? Oh man, I came to see her. Did you really? Huh? His childhood friend was as sharp as he looked. The question made Minato's hair stand up. Oh, I just thought maybe you came to see me. I was kind of hoping. Come on now, of course I wanted to see you too. You don't have to sulk like that. I'm not really. The rush of relief in his heart made Minato poke his friend. I said again and again that I'd hear you out. I'm always grateful for that. I'm happy as long as you cheer up and go back to your usual place. Go back? Kashiwagi had said something similar. It came as a bit of a shock to him, but when he'd come back to school, he realized once again that he truly liked her. What do you mean? I just had an accident and took off a few days. I mean, that's it, right? If that's how you look at it, then everything's fine. You don't want to talk about it with me, huh? Hey now, there's absolutely nothing I'm hiding from you. You and I go way back, don't we? Way back? Minato wondered what he looked like in the past. I gotta get back home. That's so. But I don't know the way. My mind went blank and I kind of forgot where I lived. That's why I came here. I actually tried to... It's all good. I remember the way to your place. I see. I'm glad I have you. I've got the key right, He touched his collar, realized that the weight and sensation that was supposed to be there was gone, making him turn pale. Huh? Why? Minato, what's wrong? This is bad, Ryo. This is really bad. Calm down. What's wrong? This is really bad. I lost the key. I kept it so close they told me I couldn't lose it, so I had it on me, but... His nose wrinkled up as he lost his sense of balance and couldn't tell how big his body was anymore. What do I do? I can't go home without a key. How long will I have to wait until Mom and Dad come back? Again. I can't go back home. Ryo, what do I... Aww. Maybe I am on the right path. We'll find it. As Minato crouched down in despair, Ryo gently embraced him. It's all good. He rubbed his back just like he would his sisters. I'll wait for them with you at the entrance. But you can't. You need to go back home. We're not in elementary school anymore. Huh? I actually have a part-time job at night too, so try not to tell the school though. Really? I didn't know that. That's why I'm not scared of night. Wow, you're amazing. Don't tell anyone. It'll be bad if the school found out. The words he'd usually say never made Ryo's flash a smile. Let's check all the places you've been in the morning. I've been all over the place today. It's like no chance we'd find it. How often do you think I deal with Midori's absurd demands? A key with a flashy string will be easier to find than a four-leaf clover. You've always been so cool. Also, we're not children anymore, Minato. We don't hang our keys by our necks. Huh. Minato did as told and looked in his bag where he easily found the key. I thought we'd always be like this. We'd always be like this when we were during childhood. Back then, I felt like nothing would ever change. Those olden days of gentle warmth. They visited countless places, talked a whole lot, spent many seasons together. What's important about you hasn't changed one bit since then. They were just close and distant enough to have a relationship that lasted a long, long time. That's something I know all too well. Welcome back, Minato. Mom, I'm back and... Sorry, but I gotta go right away. Oh, it's been a while, Ryo. You sure have grown. Thanks. Would you like to come in, have something to eat? This man here has a healthy appetite, so I'm always end up making too much. Oh, come on. Do eat with us if you'd like. Can I go pick up Meatery then? They were soon joined by Minato's father, and the 5 of them enjoyed a meal together. Aw, that's so sweet. Aw. Is it just me, or do you two come home early these days? Of course we do. We were worried about you. We asked our jobs to give us some time off. We really should have done this earlier. Then maybe it's a good thing I hit my head. Come on, don't say that. Still, I'm happy we have this meal and to watch variety shows like this. I see. It's all thanks to you. I feel like I've finally come back home. No need for a key. Aww, that was very sweet. Alright, let's see if we can get to the next chapter. Golden Journey. You look kinda sad, boy. Cheer up and have some fun. But I am. Yeah, like that. Why did I come here? Instant regret. A few hours ago. Tojo, did you really break up and she actually slapped you? We really did, and yes, she actually did. The fact that I hurt a girl's feelings would make me feel pretty awful right now. You want to look for a new girl? Then again, there's not many girls you can meet at school. Where else are you gonna go look for girls that's not at school? Huh? I went to a club once. What? Are you more of a delinquent than you look? That's why you're so close to Kikuchi? Whoa. Ryo's got nothing to do with this, although why do I have memories of going to a club? Well, if you did, how about you take us too? Huh? Well, I guess I could. Nice! I hope you can get a new girl there. And so, Minato and his friends had gone to a club. They had since split up, leading to this situation. They even offered me alcohol like it's nothing. Why do I have memories of coming to a place like this? Some adult must have dragged me along by force. Wait, huh? I'm tired. I'm taking the rest outside. Scolding at the indecency not even the cold could hide, he exhaled a breath. Unlike the residential areas which turned peaceful at night, this place was always full of people. As Minato tried to make his tension subside. He heard a woman's muffled voice from behind a dark corner. He had a really bad feeling about this, a suspicion that soon proved to be correct. Stop! He had to go in and help, but however good he was at judo, it would have been difficult for him to fight several adult men at once. In that case... Over here! I heard a woman scream! Please arrest him quickly! Shoot, the cops! Let's get out of here! Minato used a light on his phone to create a large shadow and scared the men. A trick that could barely fool children somehow worked on cowards, and Minato could hear them running away. Well, I mean, they know they're doing something wrong, and, like, you get jumpy. In fact, that's why car alarms work. Like, if you think about it, like, all a car alarm is just drawing attention. Like, it's not going to stop anyone from stealing from your car unless they're terrified of getting caught, which they typically will be. So a car alarm goes off, they feel like everyone's now going to watch them and know what they're doing, and they just run away. It's the same principle. Are you okay? In the cold alley, a lone girl was sitting on the ground while holding onto her clothes. Keeping his distance so as not to scare her, Minato felt apologetic about being a man. I'll call the police right away. Hello? Aren't they already here? Sorry, I had to act fast, so I'm the only one here, and... The girl looked up and Minato gasped when he saw her face. Oh, wow. The one being assaulted was Nikaki Mayuri, her younger self. You! Why are you here? The shock made Minato lose himself and tried to grab her shoulder. Don't! Her voice was meek, making it clear that she'd been subjected to something awful just now. However, this was something that Tojo and Minato could hardly believe. Why are you acting like the victim? Huh? He resumed moving his hand toward her. It's not fair. The man's hand approaching her put her on edge, which made Tojo and Minato even more irritated. You're the offender? Why are you looking at me like a victim now? What are you talking about? Whose fault was it that he lost the confidence in himself? Whose fault was it that his place where he belonged had been taken from him? Whose fault was it? So what? Am I supposed to let it slide that you raped me just because you were raped yourself? Minato grabbed her wrist and drew closer to her. You think you got through? You think going through the grave gave you the right to hurt others? I have no idea what you're even talking about. Driplets of water fell onto the screaming girl's skin. Rain had begun to fall. Minato. His brain, agitated by fear and confusion, quickly calmed down. What was he trying to do just now? The older offender that he so feared had become the victim his own age. And because of that, he tried to use his status and power as a man to force his will upon her? Ugh! Ignoring the rain drenching his hair, he collapsed where he stood. I had no idea what you were talking about ever since you went in that house. You might look like him, but I don't feel anything didn't feel like you were anything like Mamiya. But just now, I feel like Mamiya came in to help me, and I... Minato was speechless. Why is this woman acting so sympathetic? Why was he supposed to believe that this Nigaki was a victim just like him? That's because she wasn't an offender yet. It was actually abused like he had, and was actually abused like he had been. That they could find common ground in their wounds? That's just stupid. He stood up, making droplets trickle down his chin. I'm not Mamiya. I'm me. Didn't you ever have a version of yourself from before someone needed you? With the obvious fatigue and from his movements, Tojo and Minato put some distance between them. I didn't, actually. My mother needed me for as long as I can remember. The smile on her face made Minato gasp. He was familiar with the way that smile was made. Huh. Can you stand? He extended a hand toward Nigaki Mayuri, who was still sitting down. It was an act he would normally perform with care, but here the way he did it was almost rude. He wouldn't care if she brushed his hand aside and rejected him. If she did that, he would leave immediately. He felt the touch of her soft skin on his fingers. Caught him off guard for a moment, but then he pulled her hand. Over here. And ran through the rain. This is a weird twist. They made splashes in the puddles and the afterglow of the downtown scenery glittering behind them. The cold rain assailed them both. The people of the night wielding the umbrellas gave them dubious looks. Running quickly, they continued to be showered by the rain. The cacophony of moving cars resounded behind them. A voiceless scream echoed within, only to vanish seconds before escaping. Suddenly, he heard a sneeze behind him, bringing him back to reality. He turned around and saw the girl holding onto his shoulder while trembling. Sorry, you must be cold. We should take shelter somewhere. Let's go over there. She pulled him toward a hotel. Are you for real? Hurry up before we catch a cold. This is gonna get weird. It probably wasn't uncommon to use these places as rain shelters. They were let inside the hotel without anyone verifying their ages. Go and take a shower. Okay. Soon after she had finished and come out, he silently took off the clothes sticking to him and let the warm water flow over his body. The droplets raced down his back and his face turned pale to endure the heat. Soon a refreshing feeling spread through his body, making him snap back to his senses. He could once again realize that someone was moving around behind the door. Wearing a gown provided by the establishment, she was drying her hair in front of the mirror. Her side profile had a sense of transparency around it, making her shine like a jewel. I take it back. You're not like Mamiya. Again with the Mamiya talk. You used to see Mamiya too? He was a teacher at my school. Minato sat at the opposite side of the bed. He was, as a normal human. Yes, he was blending in just fine. But one day, it was like he never even existed. Suddenly, a large jewel appeared in his line of sight. She shone on Tojo Minato as if to observe every single detail of him. Are you Mamiya's twin? The moment her hand touched him, he gasped like someone trapped. Mamiya never embraced me. Maybe his body didn't exist back then. His heart was pounding. What are you doing? The heat from the tips of her fingers touched his body, still warm from the shower. Touching people makes me so tense. Her voice was as heated as asphalt warmed by the sun. It was instigated a shivering that spread throughout his body. We tend to make mistakes. We tend to mistake our agitations. This was fear. The moment he was touched by the side of her middle finger, his entire body was trembling from top to bottom. I've never said this to anyone, but there's something off about this body. Those words may have been easy to process if this were a specific era. However, they both lived in 1999 and 2012. Mamiya was the only one who understood that. She slowly faced him. This was a sympathetic person. Perhaps Minato should have embraced her, hugged her, and felt her existence. However, there was something that he simply couldn't do. But if he could do that, at least something. He could put his fingers that touched between his middle and ring finger. He heard her hold her breath at the unexpected touch. Please don't do anything. She wanted love. He knew that, but he couldn't allow her to move. Despite what he said, he nervously let her head rest on his slim shoulder. The contradictory order left Nigaki Mayuri unable to move. Please, don't do anything. Him repeating himself for emphasis made her face turn stiff. Her breathing became unsteady, and Minato could feel through his shoulder that she was shaken. He wasn't hoping for anything. He didn't even want to sympathize with her pain. He only wanted to hurt her. Dang, Minato, that's cruel. And just as he wanted, Nigaki Mayuri was fighting, struggling with the conflict between offense, victimhood, and desire. Upon seeing that, Tojo Minato slept under a blanket of superiority and gentleness. Yeah, I kind of got twisted here, huh? Occasionally, he would grasp her hand. She would weakly grasp it back. Her breathing could be heard across the room as she slept. Streetlight shone in the window through the window, but the room was still dark. That was all that was between them. I'm sure that desire can be fulfilled without hurting anyone. The words that he said as he turned were absorbed by and disappeared into the thin sheets. I was standing before the bed. I was looking down at Tojo Minato's sleeping face lit by a bluish light. The dark of this night, embraced in silence, dominated everything in the room. All I could really hear was the occasional car passing by. What is your true desire? Through his drowsiness, Minato replied, True desire? What do you mean? Giving answers to sleep talk was a bad move. Stopping him from continuing, I asked again, What is most important to you? I guess I want someone to love me. He made a faint, resigned-looking smile. I understand. It's important to be loved. But who is that someone? The question made Tojo Minato slowly get up. On the border between sleep and wakefulness, he continued the exchange. I don't know. Who? In that moment, only two people were in the room, and the bluish light from outside cast two shadows on the bed. You are someone very gentle and strong, but if you subdue your hatred and sadness, you will lose sight of your real self. That sounds complicated. Are you saying I don't look like myself? His eyes, concealing sadness, let out a strong glimmer. It broke the dark night and made the two shapes emerge out of it. Tojo Minato, you must remember. Remember what? I was about to say Mina, but then firmly shook my head. Ooh, this is interesting. He already remembers her. I think he needs to remember Haruki. Remember Morichika Haruki. Oh, Morichika Haruki, the person who was there at the hospital. I don't really remember him. He's trying to apologize to you. Huh? Why? He broke something that was dear to you. The air became stagnant. It felt like time had slowed down. I sat down on the bed and closed my eyes. I don't know why I said eyes. Yeah, I'd brought up Morichika Haruki, but I was also looking for a chance to apologize about Mina. Tojo Minato, I have to. Everyone's so unfair. They just want to apologize so they can feel better. But what's broken stays broken, even with an apology. Those words left me unable to say anything more. Right. An invisible scent from dreams drifted into the silence. Nigaki Mayuri must have also been having a different dream by now. Good night, Tojo Minato. Yeah, good night, stranger. The break of dawn came soon, and I vanished with the night. Golden journey. So I think that's the end. I'm not sure. Like, we'll have to find out next time if I got the right answer there or not. But I think it is Haruki, because I think they need each other. That's the way they get out of this, is with each other. So let's just see. That's really interesting that they have him actually getting to meet the Nigaki of his same age, having experienced repeatedly the same trauma that he went through, and him having to confront that, because that's the whole idea. It's like he twisted up this hatred of Nigaki in his mind because she was the source of like so much trauma that like shaped the rest of his life. Imagine having to face some kind of trauma like that, like physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, but even beyond that, it's just like, what about people who take things away from you? What if somebody was drunk driving and in a crash killed a close friend or family member? Imagine then meeting that person a few years later and finding out that they were just like a normal person who was miserable and had no clue what they had done, that they feel bad about what had happened at the time. Like, would you be able to just put aside your feelings and recognize them as a human being who made a mistake? Or would you be burning up inside? Would you be like Minato, wanting to pull them up and be like, how dare you try and pretend like it didn't happen? How dare you try and make this feel like you should you should have sympathy? How dare you expect me to forgive you? But that's kind of what he's saying here, right? That's really what's going on. That's terrifying. Because it brought out like the worst in Minato. Normally the careful, caring, and loving and thoughtful person, when confronted with the innocent form, the innocent, unknowing version of his abuser, he almost aggressively wants to hurt her. Even this evening, where he technically is like protecting her, he's also like messing with her, and admittedly to himself, he knows it. It's really kind of twisted, actually. It's a lot more twisted than I feel like some of the other characters have, because it's like he's receiving joy from the pain and he's trying to justify it. And that's crazy. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and stop here for now. I mean, I've already kind of stopped here because I'm doing the outro basically, but looking at the time, it is a bit shorter, but we only have 2 chapters left for this. I feel like it'd be better just to do them then. So apologies for this being a shorter episode, but I feel like if I do more and I get to the end of chapter 7, we just have literally 1 chapter left, and that feels really incomplete. So I guess we'll focus on this for now, but overall, very, very interesting story. Minato has always been my favorite character. I feel like there's a lot of depth to the character, to like his story and plight and the things he's experiencing, and still holding up really well. I'm really interested in seeing. There's so much crossover here too, which is interesting because we know that like most likely the platform for the true final ending of this story is going to be with Suo, because he's the original source of the Mamiya illusion and the one who got physically saved by Mamiya when Mamiya died. But Minato has the most connections with the people for the Pink House than we've ever seen. With Ryo and Marichika, they both seem to have only one connection with a specific individual, and then a passing connection with somebody else. But Minato not only seems to have met every single one of the Pink House members, but he got physically brought to the Pink House because they all recognize Minato as Mamiya, which is funny too, because like they're right. Minato does bear a physical resemblance to the Mamiyas that we've seen. And I wonder if that's intentional or just a coincidence to facilitate the story. Very cool questions to ask. But yeah, I feel like we're getting close to the end. I would be surprised if we didn't have more than like 4 or 5 episodes at most of this, because I think next episode we'll get to this final true ending, and then we'll have like a couple episodes that'll be like the grand finale. But usually the grand finale isn't super long. Like I imagine it's gonna be about as long as the prologue was. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, especially if you're a patron or member. Like, your direct support is more than I deserve, and I hopefully am making it worth your while. And if you ever want to support me, don't feel like you should ever be pressured to continually support me, make it like a monthly thing. That's cool. That's great. But I'm not a subscription service. If you're supporting me financially, it's because you just want me to continue to succeed. And like, that's awesome. And that doesn't need to be a continual support. That can be whatever you're willing to share, whatever you feel comfortable giving. That can be like, it could be if you want to just give me a penny, because that's all you could offer, but you want to support me, I would accept that with the biggest smile you can imagine, because it's not about the money. I use that any funds that I receive to help support the channel in any way I can. That's getting the games that we play, usually on sale if I can nab them, updating my equipment and keeping it maintained, all of that. But in the end, unless I get to a point where I can quit my job, it's all just, icing on a cake that we're all able to enjoy. It doesn't need the icing. I live for the dream that we will someday become a fully independent channel, that we can explore content and make more videos than ever before, and be able to really just share these powerful stories, especially in a world that feels like it keeps getting turned on its head. I like to think that we can just share these stories of fiction, to share truths, that help us be better people, to help us comprehend more things, and you can enjoy my experience with these stories, and maybe I can show you perspectives that you wouldn't have thought of. But, that's all that I can offer. That's the best I can do. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this, and I do read the comments, even if it takes me a bit to get to them because of my work schedule, but I get to them. So I look forward to hearing what you say. Thank you so much, and until the next video you're watching me, I'll see you next. I'll see you there.